Okay, we're about 55 minutes into the mash. I'm going to start the recirculation. I'm just going to put 1 gallon of my 180 degree water into the mash tun and mix it around with the grain. Okay, now I've got about 4 gallons of total water in my grain, and I'm going to start the runoff. I like to use this stainless steel colander. Fits right into my cooler, sits on the lips, and then I'm going to start the recirculation with this pump until it gets clear. Now that it's primed, I'll just back it down a little bit so it doesn't pull too hard on the grain bed, and we'll let that clear. And I've got it recirculating in the colander. Okay, we're going to let that recirculate for about 5 minutes. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes and the wort seems to be fairly clear, so I'm going to transfer the return line into the boil kettle and start filling that, and I will start my sparge water. I usually use this clamp. Just clamps the return line into the kettle, and I'll start the pump back up. And I've already put 4 gallons of water into my mash, and it's an 8.5 pound grain jug, so I'll probably add about 4 more gallons of water. I'm just going to run the water right into the colander and let it drip down on top of the grain bed, and that'll be it. I'll move the colander back and forth while that's doing this. It might take 2 or 3 minutes to get all the water in there. It sure beats a sparge arm. I've got the wort draining against the side of the kettle so it's not splashing as it's going in. Okay, I have all my sparge water in there. Didn't stir up the grain bed, and we're waiting for it to run off. And as soon as I get about 3/4 of it into the boil kettle, I will start the burner on the boil kettle to start getting that hot. And then I can clean out the mash tun and get it ready for the second batch. Okay, I ended up using about 1 more gallon of sparge water. I could tell from experience that I wasn't going to have enough. So I added 1 more gallon, and I got my kettle up to about 6.5 gallons, and that's where I like to start to give me opportunity to have a pretty vigorous boil. And so now I will get the mash tun cleaned up while this is warming up, and my sparge water, I still have 5 gallons in the kettle. It's about 173 degrees. I'm going to put a couple more gallons in there, and that should get back up to 170 or so. by the time I'm ready to dough in the next batch. So I'm going to do that right now, and then I'll be back. Okay, I got my mash tun cleaned out. I've got my sparge water back up to 170 degrees. I got about 7 gallons or so in there. I'm going to need about 6 for the mash in. I have 18 pounds of grain for the second batch. It's a 10-gallon batch of my Island View IPA, and the nut brown, not quite up to a boil yet. I should have plenty of time to get it doughed in before that starts to boil, and I'll have to take care of that then. So I'm going to do the mash in for the IPA right now. My grains in. About 6 gallons of water in here for the 18 pounds of grain. And again, I'm underletting. It seems to flush the manifold clear of grain so that the dry grains aren't settling on the bottom. It's mostly water. So then once we get that pumped in there, I'll get it all mixed up and do another temperature check. Okay, I didn't quite make it finished with the dough in before my wort started to boil. It's been boiling for a few minutes. I got some break going. So I'm going to add my bittering hops, and I've got some Northern Brewer. I'm going to use this hop basket. It's a copper frame with a paint strainer bag. I like to just set inside of the boil, and I put my hops in. It just kind of lets them float around inside of the basket. And again, I believe they get maybe some better utilization than if they were in a sealed, round, hard ball in a bag. So we put the hops in, and it's about 11:15, and I will check back here in a little bit to get the flavor hops in about 40 minutes. Okay, it's about 11:23. I've got the second batch today, the IPA, doughed in, and it's sitting comfortably about 151 degrees. Refilling the hot lauter tun with water, and I will get that burner on. I'm probably going to heat up, probably at least 10 and 12 gallons of water for my sparge and for hot water cleanup for my pumps. So the boil is going on the one, the other one is mashing, and I will have the burner on here shortly for the sparge and cleanup for the second batch. See you in a bit. Okay, we're about 30 minutes into the boil. You can see the hops floating around there just beautifully inside that bag. Sure is a good way to use whole hops without having to have a screen on the bottom of your pickup tube. Got my sparge water for the second batch. It's coming up. It's almost 120 degrees. I got 14 gallons of water in there. So we will put the flavor hops in about it's 10 minutes left of the boil. So we still have about 20 minutes before we put in the flavor hops.